Hello, hello, it's me, it's Beisha. Where has my thingo gone? Is it there now? I can't see. I need to change this size. There we go. I think it's up now. How is people today? How is everyone? Oh, hold on. Let me fix this. No. Is that good? Okay, there we go. That is fixed. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okie dokie artichoke. I hope everyone is well today. We finished last Thursday. We finished playing A Little Lily Princess. We finally got the ending on that, which was very exciting. And today we're starting Asphyxia. So hopefully this will be good. And yeah, let's just start. Just in case anyone wants them, these are the commands. There we go. There's the commands. Once they pop up. Okay. Hopefully everything's playing right. Start. Artwork in this is so pretty. How to find a great ass with an assist. Samantha Vermerson. She slunk on toe. Head in an attempt to avoid a piece. How long do you want? Had they waiting? Hope made it sound as though in hours upon hours. Samantha knew that could be right. It was true that she had woken up late, but she had as quick as she could, to the point that it had caused physical harm. It was all because of her socks. Those damn socks. Evil things. It was always because of socks. The stupid things were a lethal hazard. Socks are a conspiracy. While teetering on her, trying to pull the sock up over her knee, Samantha had lost her balance, cracking her head against the bed as she fell. Ooh, ouch. That sounds painful. Stupid socks. They caused her injury more times than she could count. Why had she bothered to get out of bed at all? Oh, you know what? We all feel like that sometimes. Being scolded by her teacher. She looks very young for a teacher. All while suffering from the after effects of blunt force trauma. Jeez. Was hardly the best way to start the day. No, I would imagine not. It was a shame. Samantha had been looking forward to this trip for a while too. At least, as much as she'd been able to look forward to anything as of late. Miss Coleridge, thing for. Well, you've already wasted enough time as it is, and we're on a tight schedule. I know you young girls enjoy being at the centre of attention, but haven't you had your fill of making a spectacle of yourself yet? Oh, jeez, that's a bit rude. That's a bit rude. Yes, miss, I'm sorry. And again with the apologies. You always apologise, as if your sorries mean anything when you trot them out so very often. The characters in visual novels always just like blow my mind, like how you be so rude. I feel called out because I apologise all the time. Unsure of what to say, Samantha found herself unwittingly apologising anew. I'm sorry? Like, what else are you supposed to say? Miss Pope scowled. Now you're just being facetious. Whatever that means. You know what? Let's look it up. Let's look it up as always. I'll put it on this one. Hi. Facetious. We like to learn new words here once it loads because it's taken for ages. Oh no. Facetious. Facetious meaning. Treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humour. Or being flippant. Okay, okay. I did know that. Now we do. Now we know that. Very good. Back to game capture. Back to the game. No, I wasn't. You just what? Samantha stared resolutely at the floor. She didn't want Miss Pope to know she was blushing. She didn't want to give her the satisfaction. It was strange just how much hatred Miss Pope was capable of exuding, particularly given she was so small. How could a person so tiny, almost elfin in their appearance, possess so much contempt towards their fellow man? I mean, like, you ever heard of little dog syndrome? It was a mystery. But perhaps that was, in part, why Miss Pope was so perpetually grumpy. Samantha had suspected for a while now that her teacher had a chip on her shoulder about her childish appearance. Yeah, I understand that. I remember, right? I remember being, I'm pretty sure I was in my very early 20s. Either that or my very, very late teens. So like between 19 and 20, I think I was. And I was like, at this time, I was doing some like volunteer experience work at a secondhand game shop. So I was working at the time. This was at a time where I was actually able to go out the house a little bit more easily. And some customers came in and they would not believe me when I told them how old I was and asked them if I could help them. Like, they thought I was a 14-year-old. They were convinced that I was a 14-year-old just trying to be friends with the cool kids or show off or something. It can definitely be a little bit difficult when you look young for your age. Samantha had never asked, because she... Deep breath. Because she knew doing so would be tantamount to self-begorn. Self-begorn? Yeah, we'll say that for now. Self-begorning yourself. But she got the feeling Miss Pope had been bullied a lot as a child. I'll I'll try not to be late anymore. Rather, I have been trying. Clearly, you haven't been trying hard enough. Trying isn't particularly useful if it doesn't yield any results. Yes, Miss. Miss Pope sighed. I hope you know I don't say these things to amuse myself. Lecturing you on the same things day after day gets incredibly tedious. I have no desire to stand around berating a girl who has no capacity or capability of changing. Oh! 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 Oh, that's awful. That's an awful thing to say to someone. That's terrible. It's like, hey, you're worthless and you're always going to be worthless. Wow. You're rude. She's rude. Jeez. Yes, miss. Don't just take that. Don't just take it. Like... Now hurry up and take your seat. Yes, miss, I'm sorry. She's almost as bad as Miss Minchin. Jeez. And I really do wish you'd stop apologising so much. Yes, miss. Her body scrunched up in defeat, Samantha scuttled past Miss Pope to search for a suitable place to sit. She could feel the eyes of her classmates boring into her back as she wandered down the coach. They were all talking amongst themselves, their voices mingled together like twittering starlings. Samantha was always... blah blah blah. Samantha was sure they were laughing at her. They always did. Aww. Either she's like just very, very self-conscious and it's nothing, you know, they're probably doing their own thing. Either that or she's being bullied or both. Like, we don't like that. Granted, she did give them a lot of material to laugh at. So she didn't exactly blame them, but being the butt of everyone's jokes did become rather tedious after a while. Samantha usually took other people's jibes in good faith, but she wasn't in the mood for it today. Not in front of her, Lillian. The blonde girl, a few months Samantha's senior, was sitting at the front of the coach, her hair tied up as per usual. Unlike Samantha's, Lillian's uniform was never crumpled, creased or wrinkled, and she always remembered to do up the top button of her blouse. Lillian's legs were demurely crossed, her tights devoid of holes or ladders, her hands' fingernails cut carefully. 10 perfect little crescent moons resting on her knees. Lillian turned her head, her blonde hair shifting over one shoulder, and for a few brief moments her eyes met Samantha's. Hi, Keep Barking, how are you? I hope this one isn't as mean to its characters as the last game. The teacher was just being a jerk. I was just saying, the teacher in this is almost as bad as Miss Minchin. She was pretty much like, hey, you're rubbish and you're always gonna be rubbish. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Samantha flushed, her cheeks turned deep red, and turned away. She hadn't been staring, had she? She hoped she hadn't been staring. When it came to Lillian, Samantha always stared. She couldn't help herself. There was no denying it. Even though she often tried to, Lillian really was beautiful. Samantha didn't want to look at Lillian, didn't even want to acknowledge her presence, but she couldn't help herself. Samantha's eyes always sought Lillian out without her brain's consent. though the end result was inevitable. The brief moment where their gazes crossed, the blushing and stammering, the embarrassed look away. Miss Coleridge, I will not ask you again. Would you please find your seat? Or were you hoping to keep us waiting until next Christmas? Samantha jumped. Miss Pope's voice was cold, and it made the hairs on the back of her neck stand up on end. No, miss. I'm sorry, miss. Now thoroughly what is this word? Chastened. Let's look it up. Chastened. Display. What is it like this? Having a restraining or moderating effect of a rebuke or a misfortune. Okay. Samantha shuffled forwards, feeling for all the world like a convict being led to the gallows. Ooh, doesn't sound fun. Honestly. Miss Pope sighed. I don't even teach geography. Why I had to give up my precious weekend to supervise this trip is beyond me. Maybe this is some kind of divine punishment. Is told of, yes. Is like being chastised. But in a post context, I think. Yeah. Sounds like it. For once, Samantha found herself in agreement with her sour-faced English teacher. Having Miss Pope act as a supervisor for this geography field trip really was a punishment. Not even Dante could have conceived of it. Roberta. Hey Sam, over here. Samantha found herself being waved over by her close friend Roberta. The seat next to her was empty. She must have been saving it for her, despite Samantha's late arrival. Saving her a seat for so long showed dedication, or maybe it showed that after 6 years of friendship, Roberta knew Samantha well enough to realise she was almost always late for everything. I feel called out. I am also almost always late for everything. Either way, Samantha was touched. Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Roberta's nickname is Bobby. Oh, that's cute. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. Don't mention it. Roberta surveyed her friend, a small frown on her face. Did you have a rough night? You can tell? The bags under your eyes are awful. Oh gosh, are they really that obvious? They really are. You'd have to be blind not to spot them. Thanks. Samantha sighed. I tried to hide them too, believe it or not. I guess I did a pretty lousy job. Samantha had never been very good at makeup, which is why she rarely bothered. I'm not good at makeup either! Why is this character literally me? She often wondered if her lack of makeup know-how was her mother's fault. Nah. Wasn't it the duty of a decent mother to teach their daughter all the tricks of the trade when it comes to lipstick, eyeliner and eyeshadow? Nah. But Samantha's mother had never had the time to fuss over her daughter, however. She had always been too busy. busy with the housework and Samantha's older siblings and her own hobbies, and anything, or so it seemed, save Samantha herself. Do you want to borrow any of my makeup? No, it's alright. I've had enough of faffing around with foundation for one day. Samantha couldn't apply makeup worth a damn. Samantha couldn't apply makeup worth a damn standing before a full-length mirror, so the prospect of her being able to do so successfully on a moving bus with only Roberta's handheld compact for reference was laughable. Oh. Oh well, suit yourself. You can always... blah 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 blah. You can tell me if you change your mind though. Thanks for that. By the way... Roberta leant forward, her eyes narrowed like an eagle's. You cut your hair last night, didn't you? Yes, I did. Samantha fingered a lock of newly shorn hair, twisting about one finger. Maybe this had been a mistake. Although her hair was not short, just past her shoulders, it was still too short for comfort, and she couldn't hide behind it as successfully as she had once been able to. That sentence doesn't feel right. I know. I think the author was in a bad mood when they wrote that. Probably. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? 'Tis a mystery. A mystery of the ages. It left her feeling unpleasantly exposed, which only amplified the feeling of her fellow classmates' derisive stares. Samantha had never intended to cut her hair this short. She hadn't intended to cut it at all, not until yesterday. Looking back on it, she hadn't really been in her right mind. Maybe she should have slept on it. It's usually a good idea to sleep on things. Ideas. Also beds. Sleeping on beds is a good idea. Do you think it looks nice? It's different, I'll say that much. Gee, she doesn't have a very nice friend, does she? Like, she's like subtly mean. Does that make sense? I take it that's a no then. It's not a no exactly, it's just... Roberta hemmed and hawed I can't say that. Judiciously. That's right? Judiciously? All the while coiling a strand of her own hair around her index finger. It looks funny. The ends are all different lengths. That's how it's meant to be, kind of, when you cut your hair. It looks weird if you cut it all the exact same length. Layers are good. So it really does look bad. Well, it's alright. You don't need to try and spare my feelings. Even if you don't tell me it looks bad, I'm sure somebody else will at some point. I'd rather hear it from a friend first. It wouldn't look too bad if you had the ends straightened out, I suppose. At the moment, I'm just struggling to understand why. Why what? Why you cut it yourself? There are people you can pay to do that. Proper professionals? If you really absolutely had to do it yourself, couldn't you have gone to a salon afterwards so they could trim it for you? Of course Roberta would offer a sensible solution. Roberta always offered sensible solutions. I suppose? That would make sense. Yes, I didn't think it through. You've always been impulsive, haven't you? I wasn't acting on impulse. Not really. I've been thinking about cutting it for a while. Yesterday seemed like the right time. It seemed like the right time? Even though you knew we were going on our geography field trip today? That you were going to be sitting on a coach filled with your peers, all of whom will be judging you for hours. Well, you know how I enjoy being at the centre of attention, Bobby. Miss Pope said it herself. Doesn't this seem characteristic of one as vain as I? At least she can find some humour in it. Samantha tried to rebuff Roberta's query with a dry quip. But Roberta knew Samantha too well to be taken in. Rather than smiling as Samantha had hoped, she instead frowned, her eyebrows furrowing. I get the feeling there's something you're not telling me. Well, I don't need to tell you everything. You're not my mother. Alright, fine. I'll be quiet. You don't need to bite off my head, though. I was only offering you my opinion, which you did ask for, don't forget. Samantha let her head hang. Her fringe, the only part of her hair untouched by her merciless assault last night, obscuring her eyes. Rapidja. Oh, that's great. I know, I'm sorry, Bobby. I didn't mean to snap at you, I'm just tired. Roberta sniffed. Sometimes I think you don't appreciate how nice I am to you, Sam. I know, I'm sorry. Nobody else would be foolish enough to open their door to you at 4 a.m, especially not when you're convinced you're dying of a brain tumour because you have a toothache. Hey, that only happened once. That particular scenario happened once, I'll grant you that. But you're always fussing about some phantom problem or another. If it isn't a pain in your teeth, then it's a pain in your head, a pain in your ear, a pain in your side, a pain in your stomach. If you actually suffered from all the afflictions that you claim to have, you would have died years ago. Jeez. I mean, like, people can feel pain in all those areas. She's not allowed to express if she's in pain. Don't be mean. Maybe I'd be happier that way. Ooh. Oh no. No. No what? Don't even think about it. Don't even talk about it. The thought makes you that unhappy? The thought makes me angry. At least she's like nice enough for that. Jeez. You mean you wouldn't miss me if I died? Wait, what? Wait, I think I misread. I never said I wouldn't miss you, but I would be annoyed at you. I didn't put this much effort into being your friend all these years for you to go and off yourself. It would be incredibly inconsiderate. Freaking hell. That's not what you say to people. Jeez. Yes, because it's all about you, Roberta. I don't like it. What a way to repay me. Yeah. Samantha couldn't help but smile despite the bite to Roberta's words. I apologise. I'll try not to be selfish in the future. Good. I've invested too much into our friendship for you to throw it all away. You need somebody to take care of you, and I don't mind helping, but I do wish you'd be more appreciative. You don't do kind things to get something in return. Yeah, not entitled to appreciation. It's nice, but you're not entitled to it. Stop. Stop. Visual novels, man. Visual novels. I swear. I do appreciate you, Bobby. Are you sure about that? I'm sure, I swear it. On... Oh, I don't know. De Quincy's life. Who's De Quincy? Why De Quincy's? Well, most people swear on their mother's life, but I haven't seen her in so long, she might as well be dead. That's a bit sad. This is just all sad so far. De Quincy's was the first name that popped into my head. How morbid. Roberta pulled her face. You shouldn't speak about your mother like that. Maybe I wouldn't if she ever bothered to speak to me at all. Well, I suppose that will do for the moment anyway. Yes, I suppose it will. For the moment. Oof. Samantha stretched, bringing her arms up above her head. The carrier bag she held in her right hand rustled, the cans inside clinking together. What's the background to this? Just two schoolgirls on a bus trip? Yeah, at the moment, we've literally just started, so all we know is that Samantha's the main character. She's on a geography field trip thing. They're on the bus on their way there, and that's a bit about all we know so far. It seems like she's probably not got the best relationships. Like, it seems like she's probably been a little bit bullied. And the teacher's not very nice to her. But yeah, we don't know much at this point. She had dozed intermittently on the coach, her eyes flickering open every time the vehicle went over a bump in the road. And she now felt even sleepier than she had done before. Samantha didn't like taking naps, even though she so often felt tired these days. They never made her feel better. As such, she had vowed to herself that she was going to rectify this problem. If not for her own sake, then Roberta's. She couldn't imagine that her friend was happy about being used as a pillow. I mean, I feel like if you're friends with someone, they're usually going to be fine. Be right back, dog barking, no problems. Ooh, foxes? 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 No. Oh, foxes are cute. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. When the bus stopped at a service station, Samantha's first port of call had been a small shop within the building, namely to the aisle that sold energy drinks. This sounds like someone I know. She had bought 4 or 5 cans of some random drink and was now making her way back to the coach. The sky above her head was overcast, festooned with grey clouds. What does festooned mean? Festooned. Festooned. Oh, I forgot to change the thingo. Hold on. Oh wait, no I didn't. No, I did change it. Would you look at that? Festoon. Adorn a place with chains, garlands, or other decorations. Cool. So essentially means adorned. It might not be the most perfect usage of the word in this situation, but still fancy. Still fancy schmancy. I'ma just check something. Do 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 do. Foxes. Foxes. I want to see a fox one day. Foxes are cute. Do 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 do. Okay, here. Do 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 do. Okie dokie. All checked. We all good. We all good. Da 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 da. Though the sky seemed to promise rain, the air was cool and crisp. Nice. It was a sharp contrast to the air inside the coach, which was stuffy and oppressive. Yeah, that doesn't sound nice. Having been filtered through almost 30 mouths millions of times. Ew. Ew. When you say it like that. The outside world felt and smelt far cleaner. It was refreshing. Samantha had no real desire to set foot back on the coach again. It felt supremely self-defeating, like bricking oneself up behind a wall. But unfortunately, she didn't have much of a choice. With a resigned sigh, Samantha stepped back onto the coach. She was greeted upon her ascent by rows of red chairs, lined up beside one another like unusually garish graves in a graveyard. That is very morbid. That is much morbid, but okay. There was something ominous about it, as Samantha frowned. How much longer would it take until they arrived at their destination? Samantha thought to ask the driver, but he wasn't there. In fact, after scouring the coach, Samantha soon discovered she was one of the only people there. A handful of girls remained, dozing in their seats, or else fiddling with their phones, and Samantha could spy a familiar splash of bright blue hair to her left. But that was it. Speaking of bright blue hair, Samantha stiffened. There was only one person who attended St. Mary's who sported such an outlandish hair colour. Samantha recognised her at once. Blue hair is awesome. It was De Quincey. Oh, she's sad. Why is she sad? Why is she crying? Tabitha De Quincey, known to most of the girls at St. Mary's as De Quincey. Oh, the music's gotten very loud. Music's gotten very loud. I might turn that down a quick bit. Preferences. There we go. Return. She didn't like her first name. Tabitha? What's wrong with Tabitha? Stating it was too old-fashioned for her tastes. Was seated near the front of the coach, hunched over herself so her back made an arch. She was holding something in both her hands, and Samantha noted her shoulders were shaking. Upon further investigation, Samantha discovered, with no small amount of alarm, that De Quincey was crying. She is indeed. I can see. Is she okay? She couldn't see De Quincey's face, but she could hear her sobs. They emitted from her at irregular intervals, interspaced with damp, piteous sniffs. Samantha's grip on her carrier bag tightened. The plastic crackled. What was she to do? Comfort her. Samantha still hadn't forgotten what had occurred between herself and De Quincey a couple of months ago, and, as close as the two girls had once been, Samantha had been trying her very best to avoid De Quincey ever since that day. Should she continue to uphold her resolution even now? Could she, in good faith, when De Quincey was crying? Kind of depends on what happened. What if something bad happened to her former friend? What if one of her family members had died, or not as serious but no less unfortunate, a beloved childhood pet? Samantha dithered uncomfortably, unsure. Even though De Quincey was in tears, it had nothing to do with her. She didn't owe De Quincey anything. Even if she had borrowed a significant amount of money from her during the last school term. De Quincey was so lost in her mourning, she had not even noticed Samantha was there. Samantha could easily have slipped past her, back into her own seat, without her ever knowing Samantha had seen her. It was perfect. It was perfect, so why weren't her feet moving? Let's save. Return. Who's in here? I want to approach her. Does anyone have an opinion? Still good if nobody wants to answer. Like, you don't have to. I'm thinking approach her. Like, you don't just... I don't know what happened in the past. And that kind of is like... probably important. But she's crying. And I feel bad for her. Let's approach her. If nobody wants to do anything other than that's what I'm gonna do. Okie dokie. We're approaching. De Quincey? Samantha approached the other girl with the same hesitancy one would use if they were dealing with a rabid dog. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Just what was she expecting anyway? Did she think De Quincey was going to bite her? Oh, maybe? I just got this image in my head of De Quincey just like... For all her apprehension, Samantha knew she was being ridiculous. De Quincey had a penchant for being shameless, but not even she would have acted so very outrageously, not while sober at least. Drunk, on the other hand, ooh, okay. Oh, Sam! said De Quincey. De Quincey raised her head, meeting Samantha's questioning gaze. Her eyes were red and puffy, swollen from tears. Her hair was rumpled, and altogether she looked so very pitiful. Samantha found she couldn't remain anxious for too long. What did she have to be afraid of, really? De Quincey looked even more miserable than Samantha had felt these last 3 months, which was quite an achievement. Are you finally speaking to me again? After all this time? I suppose I am. I couldn't just ignore you, not when you look so awful. That would be cruel, I think. Even though Samantha had for a few moments been pondering whether she should do exactly that. She didn't tell De Quincey that, though. What the other girl didn't know wouldn't hurt her.
"Oh, Sam,"
De Quincey sniffed.
"and I thought you would never speak to me again. You really are a sweetheart after all."
Perhaps. I've never been good at keeping grudges. It seems pointless. They only ever make people unhappy.
"That's true enough. I've been feeling quite bad over what I did. I know I shouldn't have. I knew it at the time too, but that wasn't enough to stop me. I've always been impulsive. Not that that's much of an excuse."
De Quincey smiled shakily through her tears, then wiped her eyes with the back of her arm. So, I don't mean to pry, and you're under no obligation to confide in me, not if you don't want to. But why are you crying? Did something bad happen?
"Oh, you could say that? It was pretty rotten."
What was it?
"It's hard to explain. I don't know if you would understand, but maybe nobody would."
Maybe not. We all grieve in different ways, but... Samantha's eyes softened. If there's anything I can do to help, don't hesitate to tell me. I want to at least try to be here for you.
"Thanks. Well..."
De Quincey gave Samantha a watery smile, her lower lip trembling.
"I guess there's no easy way to deal with something like this. The death of a loved one is always painful. I know it's silly, but it really does hurt."
Oh, Samantha's eyes widened. So it was as she had thought. De Quincey really had lost a loved one, and recently too, by the sounds of it. Samantha was no stranger to bereavement. Her own father had died when she was only 7 years old, and it was a memory that had stayed with her, following her from place to place more persistently than her own shadow. Sorry, if you could just hear me burp. Not the right time, bodily functions, not the right time. She could remember sitting in the parish church of Ottery St. Mary when its vaulted ceiling with its vaulted ceiling and stone arches, listening to the vicar as he conducted his service. Samantha had grown restless and started to gnaw at her fingernails during the vicar's speech, nibbling them down into stumps. Her mother had noticed and had been less than impressed. Through her tears, her mother had taken hold of Samantha's hand, crushing her daughter's fingers between her own, and had hissed at her to just sit still and listen, for goodness sake. That's a bit harsh. Jeez. Rude. That remark had stung. It stung even now, over a decade later. Samantha hadn't been fidgeting out of callous carelessness. She had loved her father dearly, and though she had grown accustomed to his absence, she still missed him. She had been fidgeting because she had been anxious, and she had been sad, and she had been trying to distract herself from her own melancholy thoughts. Welcome back, keep barking. How is Doggo? There was a fox, and the doggo chased it. Was it a cute fox at least? I've never seen a fox before. Which had grown more and more aggressive with every passing second. Gave dog beef stick as a reward. Very good. Lucky dog. Nom nom beef stick. Cooked a cheeky bacon and porridge. Ooh, very good. That sounds delicious. Enjoy that delicious porridge and bacon. Enjoy it. Sure, it's delicious. Samantha's mother hadn't known that though. She never seemed able to define how her daughter felt, even when Samantha tried to put her feelings into words. So, what's happened is that we went and got some energy drinks, and then we went back on the bus, and we came across DeQuincy, who has blue hair, and she was crying. So we approached her to see if she was okay, and apparently she's lost a loved one. No foxes down under? Not really. I think there's like maybe a couple of places here and there that might have some wild foxes, but I'm not 100% sure. Hold on, you know what? Let me check. Because they're not native here. They're very cat-like, but they are always on the move. I've seen pictures of them, but I've never actually seen a real fox. Are there foxes in Australia? Are there foxes in Australia? There we go. Foxes were introduced into Australia for sporting purposes in 1985, with most releases being around Melbourne. Within 100 years, foxes have reached their current distribution on the Australian mainland. Today, foxes occur over 70 Oh, really? And their distribution is strongly linked with that of rabbits. Okay. Estimates in 2012 indicate that there are more than 7.2 million red foxes in Australia, I think. See, look, I didn't even know that. I'd imagine not native yet. Nah, they're not native. Definitely not. They've been introduced. Same as rabbits. Rabbits aren't native here either. Do-do-do. Dooba-dooba-doo. Game capture. There we go. They were a mother and daughter in name only. In many respects, they might as well have been strangers. Samantha didn't want to be like her mother, curt and inconsiderate. Instead, she wanted to be kind and caring. Maybe that was why she had, despite her own worries, chosen to pause and speak to DeQuincy. Now that she had committed herself, she could not just turn and leave. I really am sorry for your loss, Tabitha. When did you hear the news?
Oh, it was fairly recent. Only a few minutes ago, actually.
A few minutes? Samantha frowned. What did DeQuincy mean by that? Had one of her family members sent her a text? That must have been it, though that sounded a harsh, impersonal way to share a message about a recent death. In England, we have problems with the original red squirrels being wiped out and replaced by a more aggressive grey American squirrel. Oh, which sucks because red squirrels are adorable. They are, aren't they? They're the ones with like the thing on the end of their ears. Let's look at red squirrels. Red squirrel. Images. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. This one's a grey squirrel, right? And this one's a red squirrel. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. That's one thing I'm pretty positive that we don't have in Australia. We don't have squirrels. Are there squirrels in Australia? Represented in Australia by two introduced species, the American grey squirrel and the northern palm squirrel. We do have squirrels? We have squirrels? No way. Melbourne and Victoria, that'd be why. I had no idea. What is this? My life is a lie. You've never seen a squirrel in person? Me neither. I know that we have sugar gliders. Have you seen a sugar glider before? I'll show you what a sugar glider looks like. Sugar glider. They're so cute. Sugar gliders are so cute. They're not pets though, they make terrible pets. They're wild animals. But they're so cute. Look at them. Why so adorable? What about badgers? You get badgers down there? I don't think so. You know what? Let's look because we've been learning lots of things. Are there badgers? Badgers. We do not have badgers. We do not have any badgers. They have not been introduced here. I've seen sugar gliders in zoos. Tiny and huge eyes. Yes, we do have wombats though. Wombats, they're not quite badgers, but wombats are cute. We've gotten a bit distracted talking about Australian animals. And just animals in general, hey? Okay, you know what? I should just do a stream one day just about Australia. We should just do one where we learn about Australian animals or something. Maybe we'll do that tonight. Who knows? What do you think? That's right. De Quincy nodded. It was so sudden too. I mean, I really got a few bad endings, but I really thought I could prevent it this time. I was so convinced. I thought I made all the correct choices, but it all fell through in the end. Hannah still died. My cute little Hannah. A little bit. Why must the world be so cruel? Samantha frowned. Now for the first time she was beginning to wonder whether she had been labouring under a misapprehension. Maybe next stream alongside an art session? Yeah. You know what? Next art stream, we could like draw like whatchamacallit, not today. Okay, we won't do it today, but maybe next art stream, maybe we'll do like some Australian animals and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do something like that, and then we can talk about them. That seems like fun. I don't think we've got anything planned for next art stream. I mean, like, there's still, like, the hot pot and like, void entity and slime kitty to do. But we can do those. We can do those another time. Besides, the slime kitty and, like, void entity one is a big picture, so I won't do all of that on stream. Yeah, next art stream we'll talk about Australian animals and Australian stuff. If you're interested in that, because that sounds like fun. What bad endings are you talking about exactly? I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I thought you wouldn't. That's what I said. People don't play these kinds of games very much. So they're pretty obscure. There are some really, really good ones though.
Teach me about Aussie moths. Ooh, I can look into that. I can look into Aussie moths. What do you mean? To say you were crying over a game?
That's right, look.
De Quincy proffered the plastic object she was holding in her hand to Samantha. Samantha took it. She hadn't known what it was at first, being more focused on De Quincy's tear-stained face than what she had been holding. But now, all at once, she suddenly understood. It was a handheld games console. On the screen was displayed an image of a cute girl. Her eyes were closed and she was lying in a hospital bed, her black hair fanning across her pillow. There was text at the bottom of the screen, perhaps to explain what was happening in the scene. Samantha wasn't sure. She didn't play many games other than fantasy RPGs, and that was only occasionally, because she liked the music and the fantastical environments. Even so, Lillian was far better at those than she was, particularly during the boss battles. Samantha's fingers started to shake. So this whole time, she had been comforting De Quincy, not over the death of a friend or a family member, but over the death of a girl called Hannah, a girl who did not exist, never had done, and never would. Oh, not Tamagotchi. This is gonna be Tamagotchi. Well, now she felt like an idiot. And to add further insult to injury, De Quincy's expression was utterly earnest. It was clear she hadn't intended to trick Samantha. She had jumped to wild conclusions on her own, and in doing so, had made a fool out of herself. I mean, like, look, our favourite anime characters, and visual novel characters, and game characters, like, sometimes you get upset, okay, if they die, alright? It's not cringy at all. Why did that always happen to her?
Hey, do you want to borrow this game from me after I've done? It's really emotional. I cried buckets, even though this is my third playthrough. Hannah's death scene gets me every single time.
But she isn't real.
Hannah might not be real if you want to go by dictionary definitions, but she exists inside my heart. In the universe of the game, I am Takumi, and I really am her big brother.
I love this.
I must protect Hannah, no matter what. I would even give my life for her, if necessary. That's how much I adore her.
You know what? Samantha smiled, though it was strained, and handed the console back to De Quincy. Her movements were stiff, as though her bones had turned into stone. It sucks. There's something wrong with me. I literally don't cry about anything. Oh, crying is good for releasing the emotions. I can't really, like, offer advice about that. But yeah, that sucks. That sucks a lot. I hope one day you're able to express yourself a bit more. You deserve to be able to express yourself. You deserve to cry if you want to cry. You're allowed to. I think I'll pass. I'm going to go back to my seat now. Good luck with the rest of your game, though.
What? Hey, Sam, wait up!
De Quincy called after Samantha's retreating back, but it was already too late. I'm a blank slate. It just means you have room to grow. Like a plant. I like plants. Plants are good. Just in case people didn't know that. I like plants. That's a compliment. I swear. The tentative peace, which had blossomed between the two girls, had already met its demise at the hands of a sudden winter snowstorm. Oh, it's Roberta again. Hey, Sam! Huh? Samantha's brow furrowed. She could see Roberta opening and closing her mouth like a fish. But she couldn't hear a word she was saying. Samantha's ears were filled with music, and the rest of the world was muffled.
Jeez!
Roberta sighed, and with one swift motion she reached forwards and plucked one of the buds out of Samantha's ears. Rude. Hi, Gizbo! Hi! Blue hair girl is cute, just saying. I agree. Anyway, I'm driving home. Okay, be safe. He probably can't see. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Alright, anyway. Be safe while driving. There we go. Just in case you can't hear me. Roberta sighed, and with I already read that part. I already read that part, me. Stop it. Ah. Samantha's eyelids fluttered and perturbed. What an interesting word. She looked at Roberta. Askance? What are with these words? Askance. Okie dokie. I hear. Okay, cool. It's good beans. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're okay. How are you feeling? Hello, Bobby. What is it? You should know. You should know. If I knew, I wouldn't be asking. Roberta sighed. Alright, Miss Cleverclogs, turn the volume down already. I don't want to spend the whole journey with your weird Germanic chanting playing in the background. I bet her music is awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. Samantha finished her music player out of her pocket, fished her music player out of her pocket and clicked a few buttons. She always listened to music at full volume. That's the only way to listen to it. It was a bad habit, like biting her fingernails and cracking her wrists. I do both of those things. Why is she literally me? One that she had never been able to shake, no matter how often Roberta scolded her. Some people listen to music to help them concentrate on boring tasks. But Samantha did the opposite. She listened to music loud and oppressive to stop concentrating, so she could disengage from all her worries. I do it to daydream. If I'm sitting there, like, with my headphones on listening to music, I'm probably daydreaming and I'm, like, not even there. I'll be gone. I'm, like, gone from the world. And Samantha had a lot of worries. Poor Samantha. Honestly, Roberta tutted. Tut-tut. You'll go deaf one of these days and you'll only have yourself to blame. That's what people used to tell me too. I'm not deaf, just saying. Yes, I'm sure you're right. You often are. I know I'm often right. You don't need to tell me that. Roberta raised an eyebrow. Can you even understand half of the music you listen to? Samantha smiled sheepishly, and while pondering her reply, pressed her index fingers together. Ooh woo. That's cute. Oh. I know a few words here and there. My German isn't that bad. It wasn't, however, at the level where she would have been able to go to Germany and have conversation about the trains or the weather. The few phrases Samantha had picked up after listening to all the German folk metal weren't particularly useful. She's listening to Rammstein. That's what she's doing. Mostly they were overwrought expressions of deep Germanic angst. But that suited Samantha perfectly. She's listening to Rammstein, I am telling you. That's what she's doing. I can't claim to understand your tastes. Why is it always German? That's the only music you ever listen to. I'm not entirely sure. I just think it sounds passionate. You would think that, not being able to understand what they're saying. I suppose so. Maybe I'm just imposing my own meaning onto the lyrics. But is that really such a bad thing? People do that all the time. To converse, people have to derive their own interpretations from the words of others. You can't really know what somebody else is thinking. Wait, I'm saying that in completely the wrong voice. Nuh-uh. That wasn't Roberta, that was supposed to be Samantha. I am so sorry. Yes! I don't know any of the names of the songs, but I do know of Rammstein. And I have heard some of the songs. I just don't remember the names of them. To converse, people have to derive their own interpretations from the words of others. You can't really know what somebody else is thinking. Not if you don't live inside their head. That's pretty deep for 9:30 in the morning, isn't it? I apologise. Maybe I woke myself up with a touch too efficiently. Samantha held up her half-empty can of the Tiger Print energy drink, which had been resting between her thighs for the last 10 minutes or so. Roberta eyed the now lukewarm can with an untrusting eye. Just how many of those have you had exactly? In the last half hour? I think this might be my third. That's a lot of energy drinks. 3 energy drinks in half an hour. Even I know that's a lot. I'm surprised she's not jumping off the walls like pew, pew, pew. Your third? Or my fourth? I don't know, I've lost count. Why? Is there anything wrong with that? Roberta stared aghast. Perhaps she was beginning to think she should have followed her friend when they had stopped at the service station a while back. Samantha obviously couldn't be trusted to make decisions on her own. That's rude. She can make her own decisions, and if her decision is to drink 3 or 4 energy drinks in half an hour, then that's her decision. If there's a consequence, then she'll deal with it. Stuff like that isn't good for you, you know. Especially not in such large doses. You'll make yourself sick, and you'll rot your teeth into the bargain. What does that even mean? Maybe, but it did help me wake up, didn't it? And you wonder why your stomach always hurts. You're poisoning your body. That's what Lillian says too. Or said, rather, because Lillian no longer spoke to her. Samantha winced as though stung. There were many things she disliked thinking about, but she particularly disliked thinking about that. For some reason, Roberta too looked disgruntled, more so, even, than she had when she had been berating Samantha earlier for her poor life choices. 3 energy drinks within 30 minutes would probably kill me. I think my heart would be like pew 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 pew, and would feel uncomfy. I'm sure some people can handle it. I don't know. 3 or 4 sounds like a lot in half an hour. I mean, like make it in 3 hours. That's like 1 an hour. That's not as bad, right? Maybe I could handle that. I really want to screen cap this and put Monster Energy drinks in their hands and Monster brand baseball caps on them. Do it. And maybe a blunt tucked behind the ear. You know what? Do it. Do it. I support this idea. What does Lillian have to do with anything? I just thought, since she always told me off, maybe I should quit. Oh, I see how it is. So you'll listen to what Lillian says, but you won't listen to me? Is that what you're trying to get at? It's not about you, Roberta. No, Samantha's grip round the can of drink tightened. It crumpled underneath her fingers, leaving indents in either side. You do know Lillian has no interest in speaking to you again, don't you? It doesn't matter what you say now, or what you do, she won't care either way. I know, but still. Samantha frowned. She means a lot to me. And I don't? Just because somebody says that someone else means a lot to them doesn't mean that you don't also mean a lot to them. Can't, I'm on bedroom laptop. Ah, fair enough. Maybe I'll do it later. With the cursed mouse trackpad. Oh, that. Boo. Those are hard to use. They're annoying. They are quieter though. Like if I click with my mouse, right, ready? I never said that. You're jumping to conclusions. And this is my trackpad, right? There you go. No sound. Samantha frowned. How could she explain her feelings? Not even she could fully understand them. Ooh, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Do we apologise or do we say nothing? What do you think? I think we should say nothing. Like, we don't have anything to apologise for. She's allowed to say that someone else is important to her. I don't know. I'll wait. I'll give you a minute in case anybody wants to like have an input. We'll wait a quick minute. Apologise? Okay. You know what? We'll save it. Since we already have been a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's save it. Return. Okay, we'll apologise for now. I'm sorry, Roberta. I do value you, really. You have a funny way of showing it. It's difficult for me to believe such assertions when you so constantly do and say things that make me believe quite the contrary. I know that, and I know I'm not always the best friend I could be. I'm fickle and flighty, and I either demand too much of your attention or want none of it at all. I'm aware, more than anybody, of how exhausting I can be. But I don't want to upset you. I don't want to upset anybody. I mean, like, you're allowed to want to be alone, and you're allowed to want to be with people that you care about. Like, you're allowed to want both of those things. Those are healthy things to want and need. Not enough people talk about how important it is to, yes, it's important to spend time together, but it's important to respect each other's space as well. That's the same in literally any kind of relationship out there, like, ever. Not enough people express how important and understand how important that is. You're allowed to have space and you're allowed to want to be around her, okay? I'm very sorry if I said or did anything to make you unhappy, you know. Samantha sighed. Lillian is my friend. Or was, rather. Oh, now she's crying. This use of the past tense hurt more keenly than a skewer pierced through her chest would have. Samantha was still not used, even now, to referring to her relationship with Lillian as something which had already happened, something which was over and done with. She did not want to become used to it either. She missed Lillian intensely. But you were my friend too. Please forgive me. Yeah, Roberta's clearly a bit of a yeah. I agree. Like, I don't think she's a not great person. Yeah, I don't think she's evil. I think she's just, you know, a bit entitled. Is that the right word for it? Like, she has a bit of an ego. She's a bit mean. I know you have to put up with a lot, especially from me. You're fine. And I know I can be annoying, but not sure where this story wants us to go. Make her respect us, Or are we supposed to dump her butt and find better friends? I feel like we're supposed to dump her butt. I'm pretty sure that the person in this that's the most important person, aside from the main character, is Lillian. I'm pretty sure that their relationship is supposed to be like the most important part of the story, but I'm not 100% sure. You really can. You're the most annoying person there is. See, she's a bit mean. She's a bit mean. I don't know that she means to be mean, but she is. Do you think? I quite agree. It's the only area I excel in, really. No! No, you're not annoying at all. You're lovely. We give you pats. Then maybe we should go back and do the say nothing choice. Maybe. I mean, like, we can always... I'm pretty sure this is another game with multiple endings. And if we enjoy it enough, we can always go back and choose different options. I get the feeling that this is one that could have like a really bad ending that's going to be harder to get a happy ending, if that makes sense. So we can always go back and pick other options after if you want. You shaking, Dozer? Roberta tried to remain aloof, but she could not. Samantha's wry comment slipped through a crack in her armour, and, unbidden, raised a small smile to her lips. Well, they do say if you have it, you should flaunt it. In this case, however, I wouldn't recommend it. Hilarious. I'll do my best, but I have precious little else to flaunt. You have plenty to flaunt, like your fabulousness. In the end, maybe being annoying really was the only talent she had. What a depressing thought. Jeez. What do you think? Should we go back and change it? Change the choice? Because we can. Or should we keep it? You know what? We can always choose next time. Because we have gone way over time. We've been streaming for like a half hour over what we usually do. I'm unsure, up to you. Okay, well what we'll do is we'll save it here for now. We'll save this and then we'll decide next time. Or I'll think about it. I'll flip a coin or something. But we'll leave the stream here for now because we're like half an hour over. How does that sound? I think that's a good plan. Okie dokies. What do I have to do? I have to do the things. Ah, well. It's the first episode, true. Very true. Deserves a little longer. True, I agree. I agree with that. Okie dokie. thanks for having me if you're ending stream. I'll end stream now, but as always, thank you for being here. You always say thanks for having you, and no, like, yes, no, yeah. Thank you for being here, as always. As always. There's my schedule for anyone who wants to know my schedules and when I stream. Here's my socials for anyone who wants that. What else do I need? Oh, D&D. Oh yeah, we've got D&D this Saturday. Yeah, D&D. So if you're free, maybe we'll see you on Saturday. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. Twitch. Twitchy Twitch. Twitch, Twitch, Twitch. Let's go on to here. And we can probably get off of this now. Just make sure it's saved. Okay, yeah, it was saved. Okay, we can exit this. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. I'll try my best to visit that. If you do make it, I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. It's all good if you can't as well. But I'll be looking forward to it. Oh, Heart-Shaped is on. Should we raid Heart-Shaped? Heart-Shaped is a cool being. She raided me once. Do do do. Do 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 do. Loading, 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 loading. Cleo's meowing. Oh, she's doing a drawing thing. Hello, Cleo. Pause. Okay, we'll raid her. That's what we'll do. Oh, I use this song in my background too.
I've been...
Okay. Raid. That's not right. That's not right. Galactic Phone is such a fun game. Is it? Is it? That's good. I think we can do it through here too. Unless I just... Maybe if I refresh this. Let's refresh this. My internet is not the best. Nor is my computer. So it's a bit slow. I should probably actually get back on it, shouldn't I? It's only my second time raiding, so I'm not really used to it. How all this works. You know what I mean? Hello, Cleo. She's sitting on me. Do 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 do. Heart-shaped. This one. Okay, I want to go to her thing here so I can see if it works. And we'll click start raid. Nope. Capybara and relaxing in a sauna with lemons. 9, 8. I've got to go anyway, so don't worry. No problems. Bye, by the way. I didn't think I even said bye. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I hope you guys had a great time. I had a great time. Take care of yourselves. Drink water. Water your plants. Be lovely. We're gonna raid now. Okay? Bye. Is it working? There we go.